we're going to talk about how they put truth in Hollywood and how the laws of attraction are of the devil. Okay, the movie The Clash of the Titans, how they worship gods. Hades is the devil. How I was talking about how they have a calendar in the world of the devil, how they have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like the god of thunder, the god of lightning. Look it up. What's going on is the Illuminati, so-called Illuminati, has a calendar, and it's of the devil, and they take ancient secrets from prophets, and they use this for their benefit, for their money, for their greed, and they're putting the truth right in front of our face, laughing in our face. And I told how they just make a simple word like Illuminati and this controversy sells, and how they have Medusa in the Clash of the Titans, how he don't want to see his demon, he don't want to see the woman that he killed, the life, and he don't want to chop his own demon's head off. Hope you enjoy the clips. This is the scene that the devil's coming back to the kingdom, and they think they're the king of the world. And look what happens. Hades is coming back, another word for the devil. There's the devil. Because we're part of the Illuminati. Which is true, we are.
Okay, who wants waffle?
Hey, tell me, do you think the government is spying on you? If you did, you wouldn't be alone. A lot of people think that they are through our phones, our computers, even our televisions at times, and all these spying endeavors can often be traced back to the NSA, more times than not anyway. In the 2007 big-budget production The Simpsons movie, Homer and the family have to go on the run after an incident at a nearby lake. But while they're fleeing by bus, the NSA actually hacks into the bus driver, who was a robot, just so you know, so that they could listen in on their conversation. 6 years later, in 2013, Edward Snowden revealed to the world that the NSA was indeed listening to people's conversations, and that drove the world nuts in many ways. Yet fans of The Simpsons were like, huh, they predicted this would happen. Makes you wonder. Two ordinary astronaut.
Well, I'm never gonna let something like that happen.
Respecting social distancing and not wearing masks. And that leads them to thing number 3, where they knock over a truck and release killer bees. If that sounds familiar, there was a scare in the United States about the arrival of Asian giant hornets, aka the murder hornets. So what was number 4? In that very same and clearly jam-packed episode, Marge gets arrested wrongfully, and that leads to civil unrest in Springfield, including burning down the police station. This is very much like the riots and protests that happened via the murder of George Floyd, via police officers who used deadly force to restrain him for having a counterfeit $20 bill. So yeah, The Simpsons had a banger of an episode, don't you think? Imagine if they had an hour episode for that one. We might have had a glimpse into the back half of 2020. Number 14, President Trump. When it came to the 2016 presidential election, just about everyone thought that Hillary Clinton was going to beat Donald Trump. Some pundits even had their winning with a 90% certainty, but that was wrong, and Trump won. And you could argue that we've been paying the price ever since. No one saw this coming, except The Simpsons, all the way back in 2000. The Simpsons thought it could happen. They said it was going to happen, and they played it big for the viewers at home. If you're curious as to when this happened, this was in the episode Bart to the Future, and featured a future timeline in which Lisa was actually the president of the United States, and she said lines that indicated that the billionaire businessman was indeed the president before her.
You know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
What was the intent of the gag, though? Was it just a simple joke? Not according to the writers. They actually did the episode as a kind of warning to America. That just seemed like the logical last stop before hitting bottom, the writer said. It was pitched because it was consistent with a vision of America going insane. Matt Groening was asked about this, and he recalled why Trump was picked then, and why it's even more ironic now. Trump was, of course, the most absurd placeholder joke name that we could think of at the time, and that's still true. It's beyond satire. Indeed, Trump's current reign as president has been one full of controversy and chaos, and that's to put things lightly. And he could get another term which would make The Simpsons predictions all the more hilarious, ironic, and scary. Number 13, Lisa the Greek. Predicting sports event outcomes is nothing new, and it would have been interesting if The Simpsons didn't try and do that. But not only did they do it, they did it correctly, 3 times during the Super Bowl. The initial airing of the football-centric episode Lisa the Greek, which is a reference to a famous sports reporter called Jimmy the Greek, came only a few days before Super Bowl 26, where Lisa correctly predicted the Washington Redskins would win. The next year, the staff decided to dub in the names of that year's competing teams.
Wendell is cut. Rudy is cut. Janie, you're gone. Steven, I like your hustle. That's why it was so hard to cut you.
And they were once again correct with their call of the Dallas Cowboys as victors. The redubbings continued with moderate success over the next few years, finishing with another accurate prediction of the San Francisco 49ers over the San Diego Chargers in the Super Bowl 29. While they don't do it now, to our knowledge, that's cool that they were able to predict all those winners so accurately. 12. The Higgs Boson. Homer Simpson is an American icon in the TV world, but one of his biggest traits is his stupidity. It's a trademark of the character, no doubt. However, Homer Simpson almost predicted the mass of the elementary particle, the Higgs boson, more than a decade before it was discovered. Yeah, I can't believe it either. The episode The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace aired in 1998. Homer becomes an inventor and is shown in front of a blackboard with a complicated equation. A fake formula? Something to tease the nerds? It may have felt that way at first, except it was real, and in 2012 it was almost spot on for the actual formula that predicted the mass of the Higgs boson particle. That equation predicts the mass of the Higgs boson, writer Simon Singh said. If you work it out, you get the mass of the Higgs boson that's only a bit larger than the nanomass of a Higgs boson actually is. It's kind of amazing as Homer makes this prediction 14 years before it was discovered. This is one weird and freaky coincidence. It's been proven multiple times that there are plenty of math geeks on the Simpsons writer staff, but to be able to basically predict the mass of a particle over a decade before accredited scientists could figure it out, give them a Nobel Prize, am I right? Speaking of which, number 11, Nobel Peace Prize. Lisa Martin, Database, and Milhouse had a betting pool for the Nobel Peace Prize in a 2010 episode of the show. If you look to the right of the red circle, you'll notice Milhouse picked Bengt or Holstrom to win the prize for economics. In 2016, Holstrom actually won that prize. That's one heck of a coincidence. And obviously when it comes to the Nobel Peace Prize, certain people are nominated year after year for their accomplishments. Sigmund Freud, for example, was nominated 13 times, though he never did win. Anyway, it's kind of funny to see that there were able to pick a winner from the future, especially for a prize as grand as the Nobel Peace Prize. It helps cement that not only are they making predictions, they're going in all corners to make it feel like they're looking at everything. 10. Smartwatch. Let us not forget a simple thing about The Simpsons. Mainly, the show premiered in 1989, when a lot of key technology was still in its infancy. So when they did things about future technology, they were looking at what they had then and seeing how it could grow. For example, in 1995, cell phones weren't really a thing in the mass market yet, and the idea of a phone being put into a watch was unheard of, except for in The Simpsons. During season 6, a future timeline showed Lisa with a husband, and that husband had a smartwatch on. And that smartwatch had the ability to take orders from Hugh, Lisa's husband, and give orders to other people. Fast forward to 2014, and the first smartwatches were born and released to the public. And with each passing year, they get stronger in function and are able to do more. And the sky is literally the limit for them right now. Who knows what they might be in another 10 years. Obviously, the writers of The Simpsons couldn't have known about this back in 1995, but maybe they just felt that this was where everything was going, and thus they decided to do their own spin on things. Weirder things have happened in television and movies and beyond. Number 9. Greasy Monkey. One of the constant themes of The Simpsons is that Homer is
rapidly uncovered. So much so that a legend was born that Johnson sold his soul to the devil so that he could become a master of the occult. Johnson passed away under mysterious circumstances at 27 years old, giving birth to the infamous 27 and adding another question mark to
Illuminati told me to shoot myself in the head. The masters told me to shoot myself in the head.